Welcome to the Old Fashioned Podcast, episode 7. We're recording this on Friday morning because you want to hear what happened?
Let's hear it.
I was doing yoga last week. And,
It's a very intensive sport.
well, I forced myself into a pose that like deeper in than I was supposed to. And with yoga, your body's supposed to tell you you're ready. You're not supposed to. It's not like weightlifting where you're like, all right, I'm going to force this because, you know, it's going to make me stronger. Yoga's like your body lets you know when you're ready to go into the next phase of that pose.
Oh, hold on. We brushed by something.
Yep.
A little too quick. You forced yourself in a position deeper than you were supposed to.
Way too deep, Mike.
You forced yourself in a position deeper.
Yep. Way too deep.
Deeper than you were supposed to.
Far too deep.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we clarified that before we continued this conversation.
It was a twist, too. I don't know if that...
Oh.
It was a twist.
Would you say like pretzel?
No. It was... It's a standing twist, so you're in like a lunge position, and then you open up your entire chest and reach for the sky. And you're supposed to get your arm nice and back a little bit so your chest completely opens up. And I got it as far, and I'm on a mission right now to touch my toes again when I lean over. So this was a nice way to work out the back muscles. And I've been making progress towards it. And I said, you know what? I feel like I can take this just a step deeper. And I pushed it, and I felt it tweak, and I didn't think anything of it. And then the next morning I woke up, I'm okay. And I'm playing with Hunter in the morning, and he jumps on me, and I like twist weird into the bed. And I'm like, what happened? And then it started nagging. And then...
Yeah, deeper can always be a questionable...
Yeah, too deep. And then Monday morning I woke up
move.
And I could barely move my neck. And then I sneezed before we were doing Star Wars and Scotch. I said, I'm old. That hurts so much. And
oh, my God. The old sneeze.
Tim was like, did you just throw your back out sneezing? Oh, that's the funniest thing in the world. I'm like, no, I heard it doing yoga. And then it became a
the
thing.
Old man sneeze.
It got worse over the week, Mike.
My neck and my back.
It got worse. I could barely turn my head. So I went to my lady yesterday who does the massages.
What the fuck?
So I'm wearing the mask, and I had to make an emergency appointment with her. I was like, please help me. Like, I'm in so much pain. Please. And she causes more pain, by the way. This is not like a nice little back rub. She gets in there. She gets in there and opens.
Is it a chiropractor or massage therapy?
It's massage therapy.
Oh, okay. So again, we're going deeper. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And she gets in there and it hurts like a mother. So yeah. She never starts me off sitting, and she's like, we need to work the back out. And she's like, it's like, I feel like I have to get a hammer and hit your back to tenderize the meat.
Oh my God.
So she worked it out and she loosened it up, and then she had me on the table, and it was so painful, but she worked it out pretty well. So I'm finished, and I feel it like like my muscles are swollen right now. I actually look pretty good in the neck area like I look pretty buff, but everything is swollen. And she's like, it's going to take like 4 days to go back down, just so you know. So don't work out for the rest of the week. Because I even tried doing Peloton with the stiff neck. Because I'm like, I don't want to be fat. And
so you sneezed so hard you threw your back out after doing...
the sneeze just hurt. It was already...
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was already done. It was already doomed. So,
what the shit?
Yeah, that's been my week. So she's like, use your heating pad, then stretch, then cool it off. Heating pad, stretch, cool it off.
I am glad to hear you went to massage therapy, though. I am not a fan of chiropractic.
No. The massage person's great. I was just scared she wasn't going to be able to help me, but she was like, no, I've identified the problem. I also had a knot in the right side of my neck that was like the size of a golf ball.
Yeah, I should make that a regular part of my health routine.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I need to.
Especially if you want to work out. It helps immensely.
Absolutely. It should be a regular part of your routine, especially if you're doing like weight training and just overall like fitness.
So yeah. So that's
expensive.
That was
shit.
That was fun. Yeah, it is. It's worth it though. But that's been my week. I woke up much better this morning. I did take a muscle relaxer yesterday though. That was fun. It had been. I
They
have
prescribed you something?
no. Shh, shh,
Oh.
shh, 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 shh.
Oh, shh.
We have stuff in the house from previous incidents.
Took an adult vitamin?
Yeah, that's from previous incidents. Wasn't prescribed.
Yeah.
But man, did I feel good.
Riding high.
I walked in the kitchen. Daniel's like, "You okay?" I was like, "I feel fantastic."
You tell her I'm going deeper on life.
Deeper. We're gonna go deeper tonight, dear, because of the muscle relaxer. Yeah, and then I took Advil PM and I woke up this morning still a little stiff, but definitely on the way back around.
Good. Yeah, man. Chiropractor, I'm not into that whole cracking. Massage, I think, is super helpful and useful and like I said, healthy, and just overall, I think it's a good. Physical therapy, also on board physical therapy, but chiropractic, I'm not a fan of the cracking. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like there's no way. Like growing up, maybe it was just pounded like into my head. Growing up, you like crack your knuckles, like, you know what I mean? And they'd always tell you, if you do it, you're going to get arthritis in your hands. And I don't know. It seems like tenderizing muscles to like be loose and, have the proper tension on both sides of your body seems right. Cracking joints in areas, just not bones, but cracking joints in areas just doesn't, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it would be as useful. This is coming from someone who's not studied anything in this field whatsoever.
So you're
just going solely by feel here.
You're a professional giving your professional opinion, right?
Correct.
Obviously. Yeah, I haven't been to a chiro in a while, but the massage therapy has helped. I have the terrible left knee, and obviously with this incident, it was quite refreshing. So
I did go to one. So they categorized themselves as a chiropractor, but he didn't actually crack anything.
Mm-hmm.
He just applied pressure to certain areas for a specific amount of time, and it actually shifted everything back in line. And that actually worked. So I had a really, really bad snowboarding accident when I was younger. Actually, like, tore the left side of my face, was like all fucking jagged and messed up. I ripped out part of my lip and my eyelid. And
oh my God, I didn't know that.
Dude, it was nasty. Oh yeah, I got really, really fucked up. I was out of school for months. And then when I went back to school, I could only do half days because I couldn't focus. And for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, like when you sit on your leg, it's like pins and needles in your foot.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole body was that for about 2 weeks.
Good God.
I couldn't feel like it really fucked me up. But to find out later down the road, I had like fucking swelling, like blood on swelling in my head, and a lot of nosebleeds and shit to get it all out. But I found out that one of the bones on the top of my spine actually shifted. And when I hit head first and kind of scorpioned. And because that bone shifted, it actually twisted my whole spine. And because my spine was twisted, my hips were actually rotated up and backwards. So like one leg was actually lifted off the ground from the other. All like, as I would get severe back pains and headaches and couldn't figure out why, and this was why. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. Puts me on the bench. He like puts his thumb top on my neck and just like pushes for 30 seconds, then goes to the other side and then goes lower. And it's like a 20-minute session. He's like, all right, I'll see you twice a week now for 2 months, and then once a week for 2 months. And as I went through, dude, boom, put everything back in line. I have to do that for the rest of my life, which I don't do, but that's the only form of chiropractor that actually, like, I felt like worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was doing really well pre-COVID with massage therapy because when I first went, it was one of the most painful things I've ever done. But I wanted to get some healing with my knee and whatnot, because I never take care of myself. But then when COVID hit, I went, 8 months of nothing, and 5 of those months I didn't work out. So everything just got all nice and tight and whatnot again. So yeah, but now here we are. And today I can move my neck much better. I'm moving it side to side, side to side. Yay.
Good.
Destiny raid is tomorrow, Mike. Aren't you excited?
Oh, I'm super excited, dude. Do you know how long I've been grinding? I've been grinding to get max level. I had to grind 2 hours for an exotic, dude. 2 hours. I talked to somebody else and they had to grind for 4 hours for an exotic. This is ridiculous. This is do you know how hardcore you have to be? Do you understand? 4 hours for an item, man. This is the extent of MMO gaming.
This is it.
All that to say, I'm mega impressed. And
well, apparently Stasis has broken the game, but they patched it yesterday.
Oh, what did this patch do? Please tell me. Enlighten me.
From what I saw, it changed the way it works in PvP. I don't know how it's going to affect PvE. But on top of that, apparently raid mechanics have been data mined, is what I'm hearing now, too.
Oh, that's not fun.
So there might be a very short tailgate party on Ben's channel tomorrow when we do the raid. I'm just going to play the part of the guy that has no idea what's going on, and I'm just there for the free food and booths.
You know what? I'm curious, man. I'm curious actually to get your opinion on this. So you come from a WoW background.
Yeah.
And WoW is, well, they give you everything you need months and months in advance with the beta.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what to expect, right? With your dungeons and your raids.
Raids, don't they hide some of the stuff sometimes though?
Listen, before Rob jumps on us.
No. Okay, so regular mode raids are available. I'm thinking heroic is the one that.
Oh yeah, no, it's just regular, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm being
upfront. Know what's coming in
don't.
heroic usually, from what I know.
Okay, I don't know. I just know that a lot of the shit for WoW is like upfront and in your face, like for beta testing. I just make the game right, and you won't have a problem. But anyways, I digress. What's your opinion on that? Like coming from one side where you're kind of given the information up front, and then when they flip the switch for live, everyone is already kind of in the know.
Destiny is not an MMO. Destiny takes MMO mechanics and puts them into a quick serve menu. So Destiny, in my opinion, is if WoW is the fine dining of the loot-based world, Destiny is the McDonald's.
Okay. Yeah, but just speaking solely from quote unquote rating, do you like it more where you kind of know what you're getting into, where you have a period to kind of learn it and then run it live? Or do you like the idea of going into a raid blind?
I'm a blind.
Like Final Fantasy is blind.
I like blind raids.
Me too.
But I don't get the opportunity to do any of that anymore. So I just wait for LFR and I don't watch any of the raid stuff and I go in blind anyway. And then everyone yells at me for not knowing what's going on.
Right. Just want to say it again. Destiny's not an MMO.
It's not. It is. If it exists in that sphere, it is the McDonald's of MMOs. That's the best way to put it. It's not. But
it's not right.
If you want to call it that,
right.
It's the McDonald's of MMOs. It's decent food that I can't ingest anymore because it'll give me a stomachache.
Agita.
I just don't find Destiny interesting anymore. I've watched people play it. I loaded it onto my new Xbox because I'd love to run through the Beyond Light story once just to keep up with the story. Because even on games I don't play a lot of the times that are game of service, I like Division. I mean, I play Division, but it's like, oh, anything happen in the story? It's nice to see. Destiny's the same way. It's like, oh, what's going on in the story? And I don't even find the Destiny story that interesting. I think the lore surrounding the world is interesting, but here's my issue with Destiny lore. Oh, we're going down this path. Okay.
Has it folded in on itself yet?
No,
I haven't been keeping up. So
Destiny lore is good, but it is everyone wants it to be more fleshed out than it is. And they built this world, and they've done a good job building the world from a lore perspective, but the fan base is rushing it, in my opinion. You know, Star Wars over how many years has built this library of both legends and canon lore?
Decades.
Yeah, and everyone wants Destiny to be that. You know, when someone says like, "Oh, Destiny is a better story than Star Wars," I always go, "Which Star Wars story?" Because there's so much, and everyone wants Destiny to be that. Just like Warcraft. At this point, Warcraft has completely gone off the rails with their story. Like it's interesting to me, the newer stuff, only because of the ramifications it has for the future. But if you presenting it to me on its own comparative to the old Warcraft stuff, it's kind of lame at the same time.
Right. So I think a lot of that with the Destiny fan base is this, and a lot of fan bases have the same issue, but there's this need, this desire, this drive to just be the best, to be better than anything, and you can't argue about it.
Right, which is what drove me away from the game, to be honest. I would love
it's just like you
to casually play that game. I would love to be a casual person and just sit back and enjoy it and not worry about it, but that is not what the people that play Destiny want anyone to do. Now somebody's going to come back and comment on us on like, "Oh, me and my 6 friends, you know, we play casually." That's great, and I'm happy for you. I don't have 5 other friends that want to play this game casually. I don't.
No, there really is no like medium.
And
like,
I don't have time to make new friends.
Circle.
I don't. So don't come at me with that either.
Okay, Drake.
I don't. I don't have time to make new friends. So I try and do what my other friends are doing if I want to play video games with them.
It's just one of the most maybe I'm just not involved in some of the other like more fanatic fan bases, but like it is a vicious fanatic fan base, and like God forbid you say anything about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of that is just this drive. Like to say that it has to be better than Star Wars. Why? Why would you think that? Why would you need to make that comparison?
There are 2 universes that I find to be my favorites of all time, and they're timeless, and I don't think anything will ever change them, and they've been ingrained in pop culture at this point. That is Middle Earth and a galaxy far, far away. Nothing, I repeat, nothing has compared to either of them. Not even
except
close.
For Destiny.
The other world I find very interesting, and I don't know where my entry point is, and I'm probably going to get messages on this now, is Warhammer. I find the Warhammer fantasy world very interesting. 40K is cool, and everyone says 40K is cooler, and I find I'm more of a fantasy guy for that. My space magic is kind of limited to Star Wars. But I'd be interested in 40K. 40K seems way more complicated than fantasy, to be honest.
Warhammer is vast.
Oh, it's humongous. But again, decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I find that interesting. Even WoW at this point is almost going on. Well, it's two decades. When did Warcraft 1 come out? In the 90s, early 90s?
Early? Oh shit! Wait, Warcraft 1. Oh fuck!
I mean, that would be the jumping off point.
It would be.
You looking it up? I'm leaning back, Mike.
Rob's gonna yell at us for not knowing this off the top of our head.
I don't want to move my neck. So if you could look up the date, because I'm leaning back in my chair right now. But Warcraft 1, I would assume, is sometime in the 90s, which is over 2 decades at that point. So
94.
Yeah. So almost 3. So again, decades. And I feel like Destiny fans try and shove this, what could be amazing lore, to be honest, into the past 6 years.
Yeah, I could see that.
And
I didn't really think it had that great a lore from Destiny 1. I didn't.
Well, the same thing happened to me with Harry Potter too. You know that.
Harry.
People came at me and were telling me, "Oh my God, Harry Potter's better than Lord of the Rings." I'm like,
I don't know about that.
I'm like, you sure you want to say that to me?
And I'm a Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter. I'm a Harry Potter fan.
I still haven't finished it because I've just how do you get out of your head when you're watching it for the first time those people telling you that it's better? How do you remove that from your brain bank while you're watching it, especially the early ones that were made for children?
Yeah, it got darker later.
Oh yeah, no, I just the only thing I haven't watched is Deathly Hallows, and now I have to sit next to somebody that knows Harry Potter lore because I've pretty much forgotten everything at this point because I haven't watched it for 4 years or 5 years.
I like Harry Potter and I like Lord of the Rings. There's no way I put Harry Potter above Lord of the Rings. There's no way. I'm also way more of a fan of dark fantasy, so maybe I'm biased, but just story, there's no way.
Lord of the Rings to me, like everyone has to pay respect because it is the father of fantasy. You don't get almost everything we just mentioned doesn't happen without Lord of the Rings. It's the baseline for what modern fantasy has become, outside of mythology itself.
Yeah.
But that's Lord of the Rings. So everyone bend the knee. You understand?
Yeah, no, that's a take. That is a take.
That's another world with so much lore that we've only scratched the surface, and I hope there's like other media to come. Is Westeros and Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
there's so much. You ever watch the videos from the DVD sets of the history of Westeros?
No.
Oh my sweet lord, Mike.
You and Pete are like the lore buffs when it comes to, because you guys were sharing that YouTube channel with me that really like delved into the shadow. Was it the Shadowverse? The Shadow Realm?
The Shadowlands Beyond Ashai?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like really delving into that, and like you guys shared that. So you guys are like the lore buffs when it comes to Game of Thrones. I talked to you and Pete.
But it's such an expansive world that they haven't even touched. There's thousands of years of history, which again, it's all there, decades old. These books have existed for decades. I don't know when the first book came out, but decades old. It's one thing to be eager for more Destiny lore. I think that's great. But it's just been, I felt like it's been very forced. And then people coming and being like, oh my God, this is better than Star Wars.
Who says that?
There was people early on, like when it first launched, that were saying, oh, it's a better space story than Star Wars.
No.
And I can never get that out of my head. Same thing that happened with Harry Potter.
1?
Yeah, with Destiny 1 early on. Because
no,
they were releasing all the lore videos early on the history of it, remember?
Oh yeah,
like this is how your really guardian became your guardian, and et cetera, and
no.
So it's interesting, and I'm always interested in lore, which is why I end up liking single player experiences honestly more than multiplayer.
I love getting into that shit.
Yeah, you look at a game like let me think. What's another one that I've Elder Scrolls. Again, decades of lore going back to the 80s when they made the old what was the first one? Was it Daggerfall? But they've just built upon lore over time, and then ESO has kind of opened up the whole world for you to see. But there's a whole other continent in Elder Scrolls world that we've never even explored in anything. And there's beast, snake people and monkey people and all these other species that we've only been hinted at that live on this other continent.
Destiny hasn't had the time to marinate. Like you bring up WoW. Like there's things that happen in WoW, and you've known about these events or these places for years and years, or these people or entities. Years and years and years, and it's hinted at expansion after expansion after expansion, and then all of a sudden, like, years go by, and it's like, boom, they're there.
WoW's problem.
Holy shit!
WoW's problem is, and Destiny's going through this now too, at a much faster rate. Is you keep killing off who was once thought to be the big baddie, and then the big baddie has to have something pulling the strings behind it to be even worse. I get it with WoW. We're many, many years into WoW at this point. And I get it that it's difficult to keep coming up with that. And I think given the hand they've been dealt, the jailer is a very good substitute.
Yeah.
But
and
if
I'm
we kill the
pretty sure
jailer at the end
Sylvanas
of this expansion, it's kind of like my eyebrows go up like, okay, what's next?
Isn't the jailer supposed to be more powerful than a fucking Titan?
The jailer is supposed to be the one that's been pulling the strings behind
Right.
the scenes and
Epicness.
deceived Kil'jaeden and, deceived Arth or was part of what was fused into the helm of Ner'zhul with Arthas. That's why the
And
runes the runes on Arthas's sword are similar to the runes on the jailer's armor.
Don't quote me, but I'm fairly certain I recall like Sylvanas being Rob's favorite, like most beloved character in this game. I'm pretty sure that's like he loves everything about her character and how powerful she is.
That was
So it's going to
Alex.
be a pretty depressing expansion for him.
No,
And that's like,
he hasn't liked her for years.
now I know he absolutely despises.
Oh, I thought you were serious. It's like that's Alex that's obsessed with her.
Since he likes to critique our WoW debates.
Oh yeah, Rob loves Sylvanas.
Rob loves Sylvanas.
He has the T-shirt, chat.
for the
t-shirt.
Horde.
So yeah, it's that's the problem with WoW and Destiny is they keep having to come up with the next big baddie to knock down. I mean, Lotro went through it too. At this point in the Lotro story, like the wedding of Arwen and Aragorn has happened already, and you're just literally going around cleaning up. That's what you're doing. So you're in Mordor and whatnot, just cleaning things up and trying to figure it all out, and it's very, 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 very funny. I don't know.
When does that raid kick off for Destiny? What time is that?
It usually comes about a month afterwards. I don't know if they've announced a date.
Oh, so wait, people are racing towards something they don't even know when it happens yet?
Oh, for Destiny? Sorry, I thought you said WoW. Destiny is tomorrow, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
The 21st
Okay.
at 1 p.m. at Reset.
Oh no! Wow, there's already fucking add-ons mapping out the fastest way to get everything already. They're not-
Yeah, the race in WoW isn't the raid itself; it's the Mythic raid.
Right,
That's the
which
one
is pretty cool to watch.
That's the one that breaks everyone's balls for a week or two.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's cool.
I still maintain Destiny should do the same thing. Should have LFR, normal, and a Nightfall raid.
Yeah, they don't have a raid matchmaking, do they?
No, and they used to have hard mode raid, and they don't anymore. But they're bringing back old raids.
Wait, they got rid of hard mode raid?
Yeah, a while ago
Why?
because it was game breaking stuff involved.
How? Wait. How game breaking? Like what game breaking?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
So they got rid of hard mode. So like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't like Glowhoo, that was a hard mode drop, right? From Crota?
Glowhoo was a hard mode drop. Yes. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's no differentiating the fucking loot tables. Like you just have one raid mode now.
Yeah, there's a raid mode gear set loot table.
When
and
did
then
that
you can
happen?
You can put ornaments on it too now. A while ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like their raid system at all. I don't like their raids though. That's the other problem for me with Destiny. I'm not knocking raids in the game. I don't like their raids. I don't think they're interesting or fun, honestly. The last fight I really enjoyed in a Destiny raid. I didn't really like Callus that much, and I think that was the last time I raided. I've done all the raids because Rocket Bear took me through all of them a few years last year, maybe.
Nice.
And some of them are fun to watch, but just for me,
I mean,
I'm not
for the most
interested.
part, isn't it just one big DPS check since every character is just a DPS character?
It's orbs and stand on platforms and polarity and all that stuff.
Right, there's mechanics to it, but within the mechanics, it's just damage.
Yeah, but the DPS level has gone. It takes secondary to mechanics.
But there's not like in Ice Crown, you had like one of the bosses, you had to heal the fucking dragon. That's a mechanic. Heal. You need a healer to do that. You heal the dragon, or you need outside items. There's nothing like that.
No,
It's just do damage. Execute this mechanic to do more damage.
Yeah, or the orb will do the damage, or the orb is the debuff or something that will increase damage on it, or if you step into this, then you get boosted damage. But it's an FPS.
I mean, the name of the game is 2 damage. You damage it down to beat the boss. To beat the boss, you have to damage.
Yes.
But with every character essentially doing the same thing, it's just, is it repetitive at this point or not so much? Have they been able to kind of reinvent the mechanics?
I'd be lying if I gave you an opinion there, because
fair enough.
I haven't rated. And the last time I rated it was a Zerg through a bunch of the raids.
Fair enough.
I tried to do world first with Tim last year and a bunch of the Facebook dudes, and I did not enjoy myself at all.
Was there a jump puzzle? We all know those are your favorite.
I don't remember getting mad at one if there was one, so might have been one or two.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's been. I don't know. I'm also
Twitter
I said,
seems
I'm older.
to be.
I'm older, so LFR and WoW just makes me happy now that I'm fine doing that.
Twitter seems to be very excited with the world first race for it coming up.
Honestly, watching the world first, and I'm completely serious. Watching that take place is actually fun. I don't like that it can be done in a day, but that's just a personal preference with using the word raid. And the word raid now is beyond my meaning of it, because even Ghost of Tsushima has a raid in it now in the multiplayer mode. So, which if you ever get that game, multiplayer is a blast. So it's a personal thing for me at this point, but watching the raid race for Destiny is fun. I've done it before, and it's cool to see all the different teams and watch people figure out the mechanics and whatnot. So that part of it is fun. So as much as I
like races,
as much as I'm shitting, and as much as I'm being an ass, and as much as I will continue to do so tomorrow when I inevitably say I'm just here for the food and booze, it's fun to watch a raid race. It is. It's
no, I enjoy it. Time. I liked, I don't know who's going to do it now, but when Method did it, would broadcast the raid race.
We were following Method in the last raid, remember?
Yeah, and it sucks because Method was just getting involved in 14, which took a couple days to complete that. So it was awesome. My game is finally they're doing a raid race for my game. This is awesome. I liked watching Mythic Plus because that's a fucking week. That is insane to complete that.
And
I liked watching the World of Warcraft stuff with that. I think that's really fun, and I like that they were expanding outside of World of Warcraft, and they were going to 14, and I think would be fun to watch that. I don't necessarily. I'm interested in World of Warcraft and 14, and I'm not so much interested in Destiny anymore, but I can see the excitement behind it because I also get excited about raid races.
Yeah. Well,
not to be an ass.
I would watch a 14 raid race because I like 14 raids. I like the way they look. I like the bosses. I feel like the mechanics are fun to watch people figure out because I've watched a few of them. So if there's ever a raid race for 14, I would love to sit down and watch it with you because I find 14 raids to be cool and interesting. It's the rest of 14 that I don't like.
Yeah, and what's interesting, and same thing about with the WoW, with the Mythic race. That's not the because you have Mythic Plus, so that's not the actual ultimate hardest it could be. Plus, you have different modifiers, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or is that the absolute pinnacle hardest activity
in Destiny or WoW?
No, in WoW, Mythic, the Mythic raid race.
Yeah, that's it. That doesn't get any harder than that. That's ball crushing.
See, for 14, the last raid race they broadcasted, was not the most difficult content. There's a step above what they broadcasted, and that took a couple days.
There's a world first for the regular raid, but like you said, people have already done it in beta and whatnot.
It's just who can Zerg it faster because you already know what you already know everything. And that's just going to be your beta teams that have been running it for months on end.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just found the best wrap for an Xbox Series X. It's the Han Solo and Carbonite. And it's perfect.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Did you see what Cyberpunk did, Mike, for DMCA?
No.
They added a non-DMCA playlist in-game, so you can select it in your audio options when you're playing and streaming it, and you won't get hit with any strikes.
Oh, that's awesome. Until they apparently hit you anyways, because I saw somebody was using a blender and they got fucking striked.
Oh, I missed that one. That's awesome.
Yeah, somebody was using like a blender or something, some like obscure object on their stream, and they got fucking DMCA'd for it. This is insane. Is there no fucking quality control?
We're doing the Rune 2 game sponsored D&D for the last 2 Wednesdays, and then next Wednesday is the end of it. But we're doing this campaign, and we keep getting hit on YouTube with copyright strikes from Rune, who we have permission.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so we keep sending in the paperwork, and it's fun.
Ugh.
It's like, it's literally, this is the game. There is staff from the game doing this with us.
That's obnoxious. I mean, I get it. They got to do what they got to do, but you can see everyone talking about the way that they want the light. Like, if you're going to get a license for it, that, you know, streamers to get whatever license, like a fucking shopping center, like a grocery store gets to play music.
So the way we've talked about this, the way this should work is Amazon Music should extend its license to Twitch as a blanket.
Well, yes, ultimately that is exactly how it should work. However, that doesn't help like streamers who stream on YouTube, which I guess is just incentive to come over to Twitch. But
Facebook has a blanket. Facebook has a blanket license.
They do.
Yeah.
With who?
I forget which one it is, but with one of the major music licensing groups, Facebook has a license. And it's blanket for the entire platform, which is why it's confusing that Amazon, who owns an entire music service, can't do the same thing for Twitch.
That is very confusing.
Also, a lot of Twitch staff from the old days got let go yesterday. I'm talking OGs. One of the co-founders was out. Anil, who's the head of partnerships, who I've met a bunch of times, gone. So I have a feeling the revenue generating machine is being revved up. That Twitch is finally from Daddy Amazon, and everyone's gonna hate what I'm about to say. They're finally like, okay, you had your fun, you established your community. It's COVID. It's time for us to make money.
This is business time.
Yep. This is why we bought it. And everyone's going to complain, and everyone's going to say, oh, this is terrible. I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to Facebook. Let me tell you something right now. You can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You might get lucky somewhere. Yes, I said lucky. And I mean that. But here's the bottom line. The entire industry is oversaturated. Let me repeat what I'm about to say. The entire industry is oversaturated. Industry. Not necessarily Twitch. The entire industry is oversaturated. If you got into the game 6 years ago, you had a much better shot than you do now at quote unquote making it. And you still have a shot to make it. It's a much smaller margin now. So by all means, play the odds, roll the dice, go for it. But when I see people say, oh, Twitch isn't working out, I'm going to go to Facebook. Oh, I'm going back to Twitch because Facebook wasn't working out. Maybe I'll try YouTube. At some point, you need to make a decision and decide that maybe treating it like a hobby or not doing it all might be the best decision for you.
We've talked about that mindset many, many, many times. We've talked about that mindset.
Not here. New podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Episode 7? Sorry. Yeah, the hobby.
It needs to be a hobby. It needs to be a hobby at some point. It has
to be.
I know it was a hobby and you wanted to make money doing it, and it's very noble.
And you used to. I used to. It was a hobby. I still made money, and I was able to upgrade certain items, and the people that that watched were awesome, and the people that tipped were awesome, and it was incredible, and it was like there was a time for that. It's because of the saturation, and it has been oversaturated for a long time.
Yeah,
it's really hard to kind of that almost is really doesn't exist anymore.
So
it does, but it's not
unless you're bringing something new to the table. But if you want to specialize in single player RPGs and be the next Co-Carnage, sorry,
it already exists.
There's a long line ahead of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of personalities.
If you want to be the next, best Destiny streamer, your best bet is
just wait for one to fall off and then you replace them.
Your best bet is to become a raid Sherpa. Like that's your guaranteed.
Don't do that.
viewership.
I already did. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But bottom line is this: is the industry is more saturated than it's ever been, and the idea that people have that a platform jump is going to change their life, go for it, give it a whirl. But I'd bet more times than not, it's not going to make a difference.
So what do you think's coming? Just like fucking more ads?
They're going to find every which way to monetize, every which way, and the community's voice is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and people are going to get frustrated. But there's not many other places you can go. You think YouTube gives a crap about what you want? Please. And Facebook, the only reason they're catering to broadcasters right now is because they know they're the only organic community-oriented platform left because Mixer shut down.
Right.
And then everyone's going to be like, what about Trovo and DLive? And if you can get visibility on any of those platforms, sick. Good job. I'm very happy for you because most people can't.
Right. Yeah.
It's there's no traffic. You need traffic. So,
but in a COVID world, Amazon and Walmart are the two biggest fucking. They're raking in the fucking money right now. They are raking it in. So like, Amazon doesn't need to make more money in a COVID world. This is just a move to add to their portfolio. But I'm within the last couple months, I will bet you they've like billions on billions.
Yeah,
they've made in a COVID world.
And now they're ready to make more money off of Twitch, which in a COVID world is a moneymaker. So just be prepared. Be prepared. You can raise your community voice and Twitch won't listen and this, that, and the other. If your voice is bigger than dollars, then okay. Let me tell you Let me tell you all what I said to a bunch of people when I left Mixer on my own. I wasn't part of the people that were forced to leave. I left because I saw the ship sinking. Yes, I'm tooting my own horn right now. I saw the ship sinking and I was like, I'm out. You know why? Because I'm going to go back to where I can A, make more money, and B, I'm going to go work with the devil I know.
Right.
That's the key. Twitch is not your friend. Twitch is a business, and they're going to make decisions that don't favor you personally. So you can either.
It was only a matter of time before it became business.
It's the same thing with people who as a social media platform, not gaming, who complain about Facebook in Facebook posts. If you don't like it so much, then don't use it. But what's your alternative?
Your alternative is to get out of the algorithm, dump social media altogether, and just live your life like a normal human being.
Live on a mountain in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm working towards that.
Like a social media slave to your phones, to every app. Like it's unreal. The way the algorithm is planned and the way it's executed is fucking insane. The only alternative is to just not participate.
Yep. I don't know. That's it. I agree with Mike. There's either you deal with the devil, and then this is where people are going to be like, oh, well, there's better things and you should try this. The problem is I hate Twitter. Let me repeat. I hate Twitter. I think Twitter is one of the most awful places on the internet. filled with people with their super hot takes looking for validation on them.
Oh, Twitter hot takes, man. Oh my God.
So I got flamed when I said I liked U2 more than the Beatles. I learned my lesson. The Beatles suck. I hate the Beatles. They have a drummer who doesn't even know how to play the drums. Don't at me. Regardless of that, I firmly believe that you can go to any other platform. What is this like? What's the stupid Trump one called? I forget. The new Facebook for Trumpers.
I had no idea that was such a thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, when we get off, I have to tell you about a new fucking term, a new word I added to my vocabulary last night.
Oh, dear.
And who I learned it from.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So we're oh, I forget what the stupid thing is called. But you can go and join a platform with like-minded people that is a complete echo chamber. But then you're going to have a very narrow point of view on the world. But the problem is when you get into these other conversations, you can't have any other views that isn't whatever the populace of that certain part of the internet wants or says or agrees with, and you will get shot down, which is why someone like me who has been like, I haven't been enjoying Destiny, would constantly get shit on. Because that was the community I came up with. That's how I got my career. And I've said nothing but good things about Bungie. I've said nothing but good things about the community itself.
You cannot like Destiny, but still have respect for Bungie. That is a possible opinion to have.
Yeah. You worked with Bungie people at GCX. They're some of the best people in the industry.
They're some of the most amazing, phenomenal people to be around.
Yeah.
Like, you could not say... I can't say enough about them.
I just
absolutely amazing.
Currently enjoy their game. That's all.
Yes.
That's it. Nothing against them. Nothing.
No.
So here's my thing. We have to be as people a bit more open to other people's ideas when it comes to especially hobbies. I understand politically and socially, there are some lines that we must draw in the sand and not tolerate certain things. Understood 100%. But when it comes to video games and music and hobbyist things, I feel like it's pretty ridiculous. You know,
you just kind of came full circle. Now we're talking about fanatical fan bases again. And for whatever reason, whatever fan base you're a fanatic of has to be better than everything.
Yeah, I had someone come in when I was playing Avengers for the first time and said, how does this game line up to DC Universe Online? And I'm like, well, that is an MMO. And this is an action looter. So they don't compare. But I need you to compare them. Why do you need me to compare them? What?
Are you asking me to spend the money for you? If that's the case, just PayPal it to me, and like, I will spend it on something completely opposite.
I was showing Mike Godfall before the call. Godfall's getting ripped apart. I'm so far enjoying it. I 100% see that there's a stopgap at the end of this where I'm going to be like, okay, and I'm going to put it down and wait until they update with content. Just like it did with Avengers.
I can absolutely see that.
People can't handle that. They do not like a stopgap because they want everything to be
everyone's
up forever.
So conditioned to every game has to be a live service again.
Yes, that is. And Godfall has never said they're a live service. That's the thing.
Like, so just accept it. Take it for what it fucking is. This is so asinine.
It is.
It's so asinine.
It is. There are games that will not be live service, and that when you finish the game, you will put it down and pick it up again when the next thing comes. There are games that are live service. We just talked about this
last week.
There are games that are live service where you're gonna put it down and pick it up again when there's new content. That's how it works. But the problem is that the people online were like, I ran out of things to do because I haven't slept in 8 days and I have only played your game. Developers, you made a shitty game and I need more. Okay, 3% of the player base. What about, and now I'm seeing it even better than I ever have, what about people like me now and Mike and my buddy Justin in New York, who, you know, he's the head of the garage at a dealership, and he has 4 kids, and he sits down to play Destiny at 8:00, and he has to go to bed at 9:45 because he has to be up the next morning at 4 or something to be at work by 6. What about him?
It's really, you draw like a fine line. So it's,
but why does his 10 hours a week, you know, and his 3-4 months playing the game, why does he have to fall so far behind? And I bet you money that is your other 97% of the people that play that game. They don't raid. They don't do all the other stuff. That is for the elite, and it should always be for the elite, honestly. That is the difference. You should be able to say, I did activity, check out what I got from activity, and hold up your gun, and hold up your sword, and hold up your whatever, because you had time, or whatever it was.
Wear that armor, ride around on that mount, walk around in that shader.
Drop your dick on the table.
Exactly. This is what I accomplished. This is how I show my accomplished. I have this title and I have this. Well, I want that title. Okay, then go complete whatever objective needs to be completed. If you can't, you don't have time, whatever the case may be, then guess what? You don't get it.
Yep.
It's not shitting on anybody. That's just the game. Why can't there be higher goals? I get it. Guys like your buddy who... so guys like your buddy, correct me if I'm wrong, but he probably has a realistic approach to this where he probably knows he's not going to be able to participate in certain activities in the game.
No, you know why he plays it? This is going to blow everyone's mind. You ready? You know why he plays it? To relax and have fun.
Wow. Not to stress out about.
Nope. That is his time. No kids, no wife. That's his time.
Wow.
And that, my friends, is where we have lost our way as gamers. You want to talk about things like accessibility and whatnot? Great. I love to see color options, adaptive controllers, all of these things that are coming. The Able Gamers charity that is giving people the opportunity that wouldn't normally be able to play games, the opportunity to play games. That to me is accessibility. But you also then, if you're going to yell and scream about all of that, why are you not considerate of these other people that don't have, you know, our buddy B-More freaking got to the max level of the season already in Destiny, level 100.
Jeez.
Yeah, because he's barely, I don't even think he's 20 yet. And he just streams, and that's all he does. Cool, that makes sense for someone like him. He's ready for the raid and then some. But you can't expect the people who play 10 hours a week to keep up at that point. And then it becomes not fair to them. So there should always be a top tier of content that is better than what everyone else can get to. And that's the thing that Mike and I are talking about. Wear the mount, show off the gun, drop your sword on the table, look at this armor set. I'm bigger, badder, better because I was able to accomplish this, and everyone should say, good for you.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. You know?
If your ego can't take seeing somebody else in something you don't have, you got more problems than just an item in a fucking video game, my friend.
Yeah. And that goes for both sides. That goes for the side, you know, that only has 10 hours a week. You can't sit there and be jealous of someone that was able to do that because they had the time. You know, you started a family, so, you got married, you know, you want to abandon your family and leave your wife and, you know, be the best raider or top PvPer in the world at that thing. I mean, you're free to do what you want.
Prioritize, I guess. Prioritize, I guess. If I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare has a season pass, and I go through that season pass and I look at all the way in tier 72 is a really fucking kick-ass sweet skin for the weapon that I use 90% of the time. Well, I need to weigh out in my mind, Have I ever reached level 72 in a season pass? No. So is it worth it for me to pay for that season pass full well knowing I don't have the time to invest to get that thing that I think is cool? Probably not. I can try, but if I don't get... So you're weighing out your expectations. I know that I don't have time to play to reach this point. So maybe it's not worth the investment, or maybe it's like, have realistic expectations, understand what you can and can't do.
And on top of that, Lance on, he makes the hilarious videos.
He's hilarious.
The video he made for that, stop asking streamers whether or not you should buy something or not. Because the comparison he made was the best. I don't know if you're a Pop-Tarts person, store brand, or toaster strudel when it comes to how much money you have to spend.
Yeah.
And
again, if you're asking me to spend the money for you, why don't you just give it to me?
He said, the second line was, he's like, that's like asking me how big of a condom you should buy. We don't know. We have no idea. I don't know what your budget is. So the example Mike just gave about the level 72 skin, somebody with expendable income might be like, maybe I'll hit it, maybe I won't. I'll roll the dice. I don't care. There's some rewards along the way too. Right?
Exactly.
Right? But somebody on a budget, man, I don't have time to hit level 72. I'm living on a budget. I already bought the game. It's probably best if I don't buy the season pass and just go at my own pace.
Just enjoy the game you bought.
Yeah, those are two different people. When you are name in chat and you say to streamer, should I buy this? How are we supposed to know which two of those people you are?
Don't let these games manipulate you into FOMO thinking you have to buy this shit.
You don't.
It's all made up scarcity. It'll be available again. Modern Warfare, they're still going to... Infinity Ward's still going to want to make money. You think they're not going to just rotate the store items? They're going to fucking rotate the store items. Like, don't fall prey to this FOMO that they rely on. This is increasing sales for the games. It just... I don't know. But to double back, how Godfall is getting shit on already, I can see the stopgap totally. There's going to come a point where you're like, okay, I've kind of done everything that I can do.
Played enough.
I've played enough. I've experienced enough. I'm going to kind of go do something else now. But how do you shit on a game like that for being that? I'm not saying it's the greatest game in the world. I haven't played it yet. I don't know from firsthand experience, but explain to me how you shit on a game for being that.
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I really do. But I don't. The industry has come so far. Mike and I talked about, hours in games last week, and he's 100% correct. He used to play GoldenEye at your friend's house, but they've crafted these experiences to give you more and more and more and more hours. And we're hitting this wall, and it also might be the part of the industry we live in, Mike, because like I mentioned, my friend Justin, he also doesn't hear what we hear.
Right.
Because his circle is the guys at work that also play Destiny, and they occasionally do strikes together.
Right.
They don't hear all this other babble about, raid balance and PvP and stasis is broken, because they don't go on the forums. They don't follow the people. They just turn it on to have fun for 2 hours at night and then turn it off. And
that's true.
But that is the majority of your player base, regardless of whether you want to realize that or not. A AAA game that is a live service. Same with Call of Duty. The majority of your player base is a filthy casual.
Yeah.
That's who's playing your game mostly. So when they don't cater to the 1% to 2%, or in Destiny's case, I think the last statistic that I saw, this was years ago, was like 12 to 13% of the player base does the raids.
Wow.
But then again, opening up that can of worms before we get out of here, this is why there should be an LFR, a regular, and a hard mode, because hard mode should be done by that 1% that can do it and can
with
walk in the tower and be like, yes, exactly. So you walk in the tower and be like, whoa, they finished the hard mode raid.
That should exist.
They all have the gun or whatever it is, at the end. That is so cool. That moment.
You aspire to be that.
We don't have, or you're just in awe because you don't have the time or you don't have the friends or whatever it is. And just like, wow, they have that.
But it's a desirable item, right? Like it's a good item. It's a cool item. It's something that made the effort worth the effort. You know what I mean?
Right. And it should be, I'm always down for, multiple weapons in an armor set that you can only get in a hard mode raid. And then a regular raid that has similar stuff, but it's not as strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your LFR, which is on par with strikes, or I don't even know the levels anymore. That's what it should be like. I hate WoW for changing the way dungeons worked, because there used to be heroic dungeons before mythics were on par with the regular raid. So you could beef up for hard mode in heroics if you couldn't get a raid group.
Okay.
And you could get drops from that, and then your regular dungeons were on, you're on par. Now I know LFR has introduced that whole other tier of gear, which is great.
Right.
But Destiny should have something similar where, I don't know if it's strikes, nightfall, whatever it is, wherever LFR fits into the equation from a gear score standpoint. But there should be a set and weapons that only come in the LFR stuff too.
I am genuinely surprised that they have not instituted a matchmaking system for raiding in Destiny. I'm genuinely surprised. It's 6 people. You're all doing the same thing. You just set a filter for item level. Like I am flabbergasted that's not in the game. I'm also taken back that there's no hard mode anymore. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Is there an explanation?
I don't know. It's
like
been
behind
years.
the no matchmaking, or
for all I know, they added it back in, and no one ever told me.
I mean, hey, whatever. That's odd to. That's weird. But and before we started this, we were just talking about not all games are for everyone. This is an example of them trying to make the game everything accessible to everyone for whatever.
No, it should be different tiers of accessibility for different people, and there's some rewards. Maybe the power isn't there, but at least here is why you're including everyone when you do stuff like this. The power may not be there, so you may not be OP because you got this, but at least you got something to show, hey, I've run LFR for a month straight. I finally have the full set and, the assault rifle. And that's an accomplishment. You did something, and you have something to show for it.
Right.
Just like, hey, I'm one of the 1% that went out and check out all these. I got all the gear, I got all the ornaments, and I have, the shotgun, and I am literally a tank, and you can't get any stronger than I am. But I just keep doing the raid now to get the rest of the weapon set, and all the ornaments or skins, whatever it may be. That is what you want in a game that is social. You want people showing that off. And WoW has taken steps back when it comes to being social for the sake of including people over time. And I don't think they've done it perfectly, but they've done it. And I maintain that Destiny should do it because I feel like it would change the dynamic of what goes on there. But
they should do it. And one thing that I really enjoy about WoW is just now I know that there's an argument that the quantity or the quality has gone down while the quantity has gone up. But I do enjoy the sheer number of things to get in the game. And then there's just an absolute absurd amount of ways to get the things. So for instance, I happened to be riding around on my Bruce mount the other day. And somebody out in the world just randomly sent me a message. Where the fuck did you get that? And I said, who, Bruce? And they laughed. They're like, his name is Bruce? And I said, yeah, it's a mount. Where did you get it? I said, the Brawlers Guild. The quest line for the Brawlers Guild. Oh, shit. Went right back. You know what I mean? Like, it's people see cool shit out and engage with you for it.
Yep.
I think I I really enjoy that about WoW. There's so fucking much to get and so much to do and so much that allows you to like stand out. And I get that it's probably not what it used to be. I unfortunately missed out on that. But there is still a little bit of that left.
A little bit. I think most of these games depend on you bringing your friends in now. It's not really something you make friends in, but
oh no, we're
the
not.
Possibility to make friends is completely there, and I've seen it happen at GCX where people meet for the first time.
Yeah, no, like I'm definitely. The only people I talk to in WoW are friends, like people that I talk to outside of WoW. Also, there's no one that I've met in WoW that I continue to talk to. In fact, especially with the way, like, and I've complained many times about WoW dungeons. It is not worth running dungeons without friends in WoW. It's just not. Like, fuck that scene. It's a cesspool.
There you go. That's the show. That's it this week. That's all you get.
Oh. Accessibility does not mean make shit easy.
No, it doesn't. It means make shit accessible.
Yeah.
Giving people with whatever they need to accomplish the main goal. That is how I see accessibility. So if they need, a color change in the palette to see tells on a boss or something, 100% put that in your game. Adaptable, like I said before, able gamers with these adaptable controllers and Microsoft. I think that is the coolest shit that has ever come from gaming is these adaptable controllers that give people who can't have proper function of whether it's motor skills in your hands, maybe they don't even have a hand or something, whatever it may be, pedals, neural thing, anything. That is the coolest shit that we allow those people, that we've given these people the opportunity to play the same thing as us. I think that is, to me, that is mind blowing. And that is one of the best uses of science I've seen in the modern era is to make sure that people can have that. Yep. Make sure people can have that rush and that experience that you get from whatever game you're playing and whatever you're doing. The Guild of Deaf People that beat Mythic a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I cried looking at that video. I teared up. You know how much hard work and effort they put in to doing that, and the tells they had to create and the macros and the whole 9 yards to make something as epic as that happen. I'm sorry, but that to me is the pinnacle of accessibility.
Yeah, they were. Yep.
That is it. They conquered that Everest. And it was one of the coolest things I've seen in gaming. And their celebration afterward, that should tell the story. That should be it,
Yeah.
Or these kids that have the Microsoft controller, the Xbox One, just slaying in Fortnite with it. Just slaying.
Yes, yeah.
Slaying. Like that is what it is giving people the opportunity to compete at that level, or it just enjoy, not necessarily compete, but just enjoy what you enjoy. And that is accessibility. And that is what makes it cool. And that is what makes it awesome.
Making something easier for the sake of everyone being able to complete it is not accessibility.
Ding, 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 ding. Chat, thank you for listening.
There's my hot take.
So hot.
I know.
Chat, thank you for listening to episode 7 of the Old Fashioned Podcast. He's metric_methods on Twitter. That's Mike. You can find him there. I'm Kevin X Vision on Twitter. And you can check out everything at raredrop.co, which is going to be getting a nice little facelift over the next 2 months. So stay tuned. There's going to be some nice changes coming. No Old Fashioned merch yet because next year store changes are coming too. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that as well. But just head over to raredrop.co. You can check out all of the old episodes. You can check out Old Fashioned Podcast, Old Fashioned Pod on Twitter, Old Fashioned Podcast on Facebook. And if you search Old Fashioned Podcast on YouTube, we will ding pop right up. Because we're not cool enough to get a direct URL. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you next week for episode 8.